another flashback episode, episode number 3. Today we're looking at issue number 3, and it is the Klingon Bird of Prey Brielle class. There's a few different classes of Klingon ship. This is one of them. So it's 139 meters long, and it only has 6 decks. So let's delve in. So it's a Klingon Defense Force Brielle class, 6 decks, 36 standard crew, warp speed of warp 9. Sorry. Obviously, it's got the phaser cannons at either side and the front torpedo tube as well. It's a nice picture of the underneath there of the Bird of Prey. So, yeah, we get a nice picture here from the voyage home as they're going to save the whale. And it's actually a nice picture of the ship we actually get. So this is it in flight mode. So we have attack mode, flight mode, and a land mode as well. And we'll come on to that in just a bit. So this here is it's obviously the preferred design of the Klingon Defense Force. Here we have some more in-depth and in-universe information. So this is the torpedo tube. Obviously, I think he got more of an outing on DS9, thanks to General Muttak here and Wolf obviously being on that show. So here we have it here in the landing mode, so it can actually land on a planet. So that's pretty cool. There's the bridge. So it had a higher up chair with consoles lower down. This design changed later on, as we see in DS9. So here we have the 3 positions. It's really nice actually, because Eaglemoss have actually produced all 3 of these. Obviously originally they probably are only going to do the 1, but we now have the attack wing and the landing position as well. So that's a really nice touch there. But this obviously, this section here goes into the positioning on flight mode, which is the mode that we got with this model, attack mode, which we get later on in the series, and land mode, which is a webshop exclusive. I'll be doing a video on all of these, so make sure you click to subscribe, because we'll be going back and having a look at these. So here we have the nice plan view here. So obviously we've got disruptor cannons here, the navigation deflector at the front. Actually, it's pointed more at the torpedo tube here as well, but it is behind that deck there. We have the cloaking field emitter. So this red emitter that runs around the bridge, I think some people might have mistaken it actually for like a window or something like that, but it's actually the cloaking field emitter. Obviously the impulse engine at the back there. We have the central corridor here, the bridge right at the front. We have sensors. So this is all sort of how the wings move as well. We have the land loading bay underneath. Loading ramp as well. I mean, I like these sort of these detailed plans as well. I really like this. And we've got some, obviously, how the cloaking device activates and stuff like that. And the disruptors down there. Volo of Klingon. Here we have the escape pods. Though the Klingons are famous for their willingness to die in battle, the Klingon Bird of Prey is fitted with escape pods. The Klingons take a view that it is better to live and win the war than to be glorious in one battle. So it does have escape pods. We know that from Deep Space Nine, but it's frowned upon if you use them. Obviously it's not glory enough to die in battle or something, so there we go. Then we come on to the design. So these were the early designs of the of originally it was actually going to be a Romulan ship originally. So originally the Klingon Bird of Prey was going to be Romulan, but they dropped the idea and went for the Klingon Bird of Prey instead. So this is quite a nice view here. So we get some more now here on this from the motion picture. Obviously the battle cruiser Bird of Prey. So you can see the earlier intention was for it to be a Romulan Bird of Prey, which we saw in the original series, but actually the Klingons had it. And I know that there's a bit of discussion of whether or not it was a Romulan ship or a Klingon ship first, and whether they you know, we know that there was a design etiquette between the two, especially with the bigger battle cruisers. But yeah, so that's why we have the Klingon Bird of Prey. Here we go with the filming of it, and you can see the size of it. I'd love to do one of these as a part build. I mean, it'd be absolutely awesome. And here we are here. Obviously, it goes in that the motors eventually stopped working in the wings here. So that's why in Next Generation we sometimes see it with the wings down or up, because the motors stopped working to allow the movement of the wings. It's also worth noting there's a little bit here that actually just before they went to CG and they done the Way of the Warrior, they actually used Hallmark Christmas decorations for the ships to destroy them. So they didn't destroy the physical model, they basically destroyed the Hallmark ornaments. And then we have the on-screen. So obviously it was first seen for the search for Spock in episode in the third Star Trek film. Then it was obviously in Deep Space Nine, Next Generation as well. So that's where it came. Obviously, we will be doing the Enterprise as well, so make sure you click to subscribe. But that is what would have been next at issue 4. It might even be next for our next issue. It probably will be. So we'll be having a look at the Enterprise NX-01. And then we get another underview here of the Bird of Prey. So let's take a look. Here we have the Klingon Bird of Prey from Iglos, and I've got to say it's actually really, really nice. And this just to provide the standard of what we were going to get, or what we were getting, and to make it the third issue, it's just absolutely fantastic. We got a lot of weathering on here as well. There's so much nice detail on this ship. It's unreal that they've been able to sort of replicate really the amount of detail. It just showed you the intent and really what they can achieve, and I just love it. So here we have the disruptors right here, so I'm just going to try and zoom up on there. Is it going to allow me? Yeah. So it's really nice. So it's even got if I do that, it's even got a little point at the end. And obviously these are all weathering marks, which is really nice. You can see it's been inside a planet of some sort. It's even got the little red outline for the torpedo tube. It's got this lovely bird feather print underneath. I don't think there's been a more detailed model like this, pre-painted, pre-built, ever. I mean, it's just fantastic. There's so much detail on here as well. I mean, it's even right down to the thrusters just here. So we have the bridge section here. We have the obviously the cloaking emitter around the front now. There's even the impulse engine grids there. Now that does go further in. As you can see, it's even on the upside of it as well. Loads of little details on it, and the weathering on it is just absolutely amazing. It's so nice to actually go back over these old ships, and I'm saying old because they're 5 years old now. These are really coming along nicely, and I've done so well for a 5-year-old sort of ship, really. But yeah, it's a really nice ship. Eagle must have outdone themselves on this one. So obviously these move. Obviously they're not on this model, but that's where they sort of pivot. Obviously it's in its flight mode, so that's really cool. But even underneath, they've thoroughly outdone themselves. I mean, it's just so nice. But yeah, that was issue number 3. And episode number 3 for our flashback, for our look back at the Star Trek ship models. I hope you enjoyed it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Pick it up. I mean, the first couple of you have to pick them all up. What am I saying? You have to pick them all up. If you're a massive Klingon fan, you have to pick this up. This is just it's too good to not have in your collection. You know, the Klingon Bird of Prey is one of the most recognisable ships of the Klingon fleet. Obviously, it's been done lots of times before, so it's highly recognisable. But I mean, not with this sort of detail. It's never been done, and I'm great to have it in my collection, and you should be too. Anyway, that is us here at the Nexus. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next video.